But moving on, I mean, do you guys want to get into prospect of the week really quick and wrap up this episode before getting into our interview with our
Let's
guest?
go.
Yeah, let's do it.
All
Yeah.
right, Drew, who's your
Prospect of the
guy?
week. One of my
Who's your
favorite
guy?
parts of what we're doing here. I love shouting guys out and I love mixing it up. We don't have a criteria of like, hey, you need to do an unsigned senior, you need to do a 26, a 27. I love kind of looking through our list and it's like, okay, who should we shout out this week? And I like having a variety and I felt like we kind of did this week with who we chose. But I'm gonna go with Braden Sailing. Williamsville 2025. Um, he's not a rank, and it kind of speaks to first off how hard it is to do the rankings, but then also like if you're not ranked, it doesn't mean you're not a good player. Like there are so many good players in Illinois, and not all of them can be ranked, and we have to cut the list off at somewhere. So Braden Sailing was at our state games this last summer. Shortstop, right-handed pitcher. He's a left-handed hitter. He's a sub-7 runner, and he's a baseball player that I think has more to come. And that's why I really like him. Like, talk about the floor to ceiling. Like, I think there's still some ceiling there for him to get to. And he's a good baseball player. So, like, he's got a really good foundation. He's got a lot of feel on the mound. It's like low 80s right now, but you watch the video, the arm really works. It looks like he can get the fastball. An underrated thing, I think, for pitchers, especially if you're going to succeed at the next level, is simply to be able to throw your fastball to your glove side. If you could throw your fastball to the glove side, I think you have a chance. And you watch that video, and he's consistently getting it to the glove side. He could throw his off speed for strikes. And then you look at the swing, and it's loose, it's athletic. It doesn't have a ton of punch to it right now, but I think that's going to come. And then he can defend, and he could probably stick on the infield. So I really like Braden Sailing, especially as just prospect of the week. I looked on his X. It didn't look like we missed his commitment anywhere. So Braden, if we did or whatever, let us know. If not, you're a coach out there looking for, a guy right now that can stick up the middle, can also help you on the mound, and also is a left-handed bat. Like, to me, that deserves a ton of attention. So prospect of the week, let's get it.
Drew, that was a really good call out. Actually, I saw him at the state games pitching a little bit, and I remember loving the way that he moved. And I was watching his video just now, and like you said, it's just a really loose and easy arm. He's interesting. That's a good call out there.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll hop in here next. I'm gonna go with David Lang from Hinsdale Central. And he's probably another guy that we could probably rank. It's just tough. Like there's just only so many spots, and like Drew said, it does not mean you're not a good player. Like there is a ton of people that could easily be in these rankings. It's just a lot of dynamics that go into it. But he's a left-handed pitcher. Lefties are super sought after, and he'll work low mid 80s. We've heard rumblings that it's been a little firmer than that in the upper 80s, but 3 quality pitches: fastball, curveball, changeup. I really like the way it moves. He controls his body well. He can throw all 3 pitches for strikes. And there's still more to come. He's 6'1", 185. So, yeah, I'll have to hop over to Hinsdale Central and see him this spring. But definitely an uncommitted lefty to know.
Yeah, and then my guy is Jack. I believe it's Shaq. Coach Malinowski, we actually got to talk to him at the IHS BCA convention. Me and Drew out of Lockport.
Is that
Jack
what he
Shack,
is that? Yeah, did he pronounce it there for us? Because I've definitely been saying it wrong.
Because we've been saying Sheik, I think, since he emerged on the radar for us. But man, I've liked Jack for a while. I actually got to see him last spring when he was a sophomore down at the Kickoff Classic, and I feel like he's getting better and better every time we see him. There's projection there in the frame. It's 6'3", 157, so he's got room to add some more strength and muscle into that frame. But it's a low to mid 80s arm. We had him up to 80. We've seen him up to 85 in the past. Wouldn't be surprised to see that tick up this spring. He's probably going to be the ace or, even the number 2 for what should be a really good Lockport team this spring. So we'll have to get out and see him as well as that entire Lockport team. But I think another thing that's, a tip of the cap to him is he's really confident in his breaking stuff and throwing it in the zone, which as a younger guy that you don't always see that, right? Kids can be timid throwing their breaking stuff. He goes right at guys. I saw that in the spring, saw that this summer at the state games. He plays the game with a ton of moxie, which is, in my opinion, something you really need to have as a pitcher. So Big fan of Jack and can't wait to see Lockport this spring.
Yeah, and then to round this out here, my uncommitted prospect of the week is 2A state champion, corner infielder Brady Hatton from St. Anthony. He's a 2025, if I didn't mention that already. 6'5", 190-pound frame. And honestly, what I like about Brady, I haven't seen him a ton. I just saw him throughout the state weekend this past year. He just hits. Like, it is a very flat path, and he just hits. I don't have the exact stats from the weekend, but he was one of their leading hitters. I think he's hitting in the 3 or 4 hole for them. But then he ended up coming to our Southern Illinois Summer ID, and he had a 96 mile an hour max exit velocity, 91 mile an hour average, which Drew and all of us have talked about that the average is very important because that's showing that that's what they are consistently doing. And it's closer to his max. So really impressive there. And then the 344-foot max distance for Brady at that event. But like I said, my favorite thing about him is, well, his frame too, because if you look at him, he's got a ton of room to add strength still. But then also just his ability to hit in game. Like I've just, in the few times that I've seen him in game, he hits. So that's a big plus for Brady. But uncommitted, 2025 from St. Anthony, Brady Hatton.